Okay, and I'm just double checking that we are live, which I think we are. Oh, hello, gorgeous soul sisters. Happy Monday to you. Thank you so much for being a little bit patient with today's video. I am tuning in with you a little bit later than usual, so you'll have to bear with me if my brain is not working quite as quickly as usual. But thank you for being here. We are here today to cover the second part in a two-part video series on emotional intimacy. So I know that this is a topic that is so important in this community. It is so important to me. I know that it's probably important to you as well. And if this is something that you are in a relationship right now and you want to experience a deeper sense of emotional connection with your partner, or you are single and you want to experience a deep level of emotional connection in your next relationship, then this two-part video series is for you. So if you are here watching live, then let me know. Just say hi. Let me know who's here, who's a part of the conversation. And if you're watching it on the replay, then just give us a little cheeky hashtag replay, and that way we can spread this far within our community. So if you're tuning in today, hopefully you've watched our video yesterday, and if you haven't already, then just inviting you to check that out. We were speaking in yesterday's live video about creating a deeper sense of emotional intimacy with your partner by doing what I'm calling the outside-in approach. So this is by taking part in the activities and the practices that can spark that sense of connection. Okay, so we went over date nights and how they can create more emotional intimacy. We went over coffee chats, which is a whole different concept. If you're not familiar with that, check it out. We went through creating a space for sensuality and for sensual play. And we also spoke a little bit about eye gazing as well. And thank you so much, Lisa, for broadening this conversation to say that we can even do eye gazing with our soul sisters as well as with our partner. So we went through some really juicy practices, and we spoke a little bit about why it is that those practices can create more emotional intimacy in our relationship. But today, we're going to look at the other approach. Now, this is the approach for me that is really, really powerful, because as much as I love the practices, as much as I love the activities, the date nights, the sensuality spaces, as much as I love that, sister, I believe that there is something even more fundamental that we need to, what is the word? We need to surrender to in order to experience emotional intimacy. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So this is the inside out approach to creating emotional intimacy in your relationship. And what does that mean, the inside out approach? Well, this is what is the transformation that you're willing to make inside of yourself to invite more intimacy in your relationship. So in my experience as a relationship mentor and also as a human being, woman, person who has had experiences where I've been in relationships that weren't meeting my emotional needs, and I've learned how to welcome deeper emotional intimacy. The one thing that I have consistently found that is absolutely a prerequisite for experiencing intimacy with your partner is a willingness to share your truth. So anyone who is watching here, let me know if this resonates. Let me know if this lands with you. If something just clicked when I said that, or if you're thinking, well, okay, what does that mean? So for me, sharing your truth is about being willing to let down your guard, to let down your guard, and to actually share what is going on behind the guard, to let your partner see who you really are below the more surface levels. So what this means is being willing to share the parts of you that are inconvenient or that you are afraid will be inconvenient to your partner. So many of the women who I work with come to me because they're not experiencing the emotional intimacy that they desire. And when I ask them, have you shared this with your partner? Have you made it clear that this is a need for you? So often my clients will say to me, no, not exactly, because I'm afraid to rock the boat. I'm afraid. And if this is you, or if this has ever been you, and Lord knows this has been me, my message to you is, sister, in order for us to experience the intimacy with our partner, we have to be willing to show them our feelings, our needs, our desires, and our truth. And that includes the messy stuff. That includes the stuff that you're scared to share. That includes addressing the conversations that you're scared to address. That involves hearing your partner's truth, even when it's really hard to hear their truth, to hear their feelings, to hear their needs, to hear their desires. So one of the things that I find we often kind of mistake about intimacy, very often we tend to think of intimacy as like closeness. And of course, there is a sense of closeness that comes from sharing what's going on inside of us. But there's also a sense of separateness. And this is where I think we need to get clear on as women and as a community, is that in order to experience the emotional intimacy and the closeness, we also need to start embracing our separateness. And that means sharing as an individual person what is going on for you and getting really radically curious about your partner and what is going on for them. So I would love to hear, if you're here watching live, how does this land for you? How do you feel about your own ability to share your deeper truth with your partner? Now I'm going to add a caveat here, okay? So often, or not often, but sometimes you will encounter, or I'll encounter someone who says things that can be quite harsh, that can be quite abrupt, that can be maybe judgmental. And when you kind of bring that up to them, their response is, well, I'm just telling the truth. I'm just saying it how it is. So when I'm talking about sharing your truth, I am not talking about that. I'm talking about accessing a deeper truth, which is below the and beyond the judgments. It's below and beyond the stories. It's below and beyond the blame that you might have felt towards your partner. It is so much deeper than that. It is so much more vulnerable than that. What is the vulnerability beneath that judgment? What is the vulnerability beneath that feeling? And your vulnerability might be a feeling, it might be a need, or it might even be a desire that you've been scared to admit to your partner. So how is this landing for you, soul sister? And some of the reasons that we tend to back away from this part of intimacy, and that we tend to want to create intimacy in other ways, like through date nights, is obviously date nights are kind of easier, right? It's harder for us to share our naked truth with another person. It's harder for us to even feel into our deeper truth. So just by kind of show of hands, if you're watching this or if you're watching it on the replay, let me know in the comments if you relate to this, what I'm about to say. So many of us, men and women, we have this experience where we're so busy going through our day. We're so busy being achievement focused and goal focused, and we're looking after the kids, or we're at work, or we're doing whatever the project, the life project is. We get so caught up in the doing and the thinking that for a lot of us, we're not even very conscious about what is happening for us on a deeper level. So I remember for me, you know, historically, when people used to ask me how I was feeling, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know how I was feeling. So one of the barriers to sharing your truth with your partner is, how connected are you to your inner truth? How honest are you willing to be with yourself about your inner truth? And the other challenge is fearing that you will rock the boat, fearing that there will be a conflict, fearing that what if my feeling or my need is different from yours? Isn't it best to just kind of squirrel mine away and just kind of keep the peace? Well, if that is you, that is certainly an option. You are so entitled to do that, and if it's working for you, then keep doing it. However, what I will say, what I've noticed, is that the more we squirrel away our feelings and we squirrel away our needs, the more that resentments build and the more that distance builds, because we're keeping our truth from our relationship. We're keeping our truth from our partner. And it's very difficult to build intimacy that is based on a lie or based on omission. It is really hard, because what intimacy really is allowing each other to see what we're celebrating, to see what we're struggling with, to see how we feel about the events in our lives, and to share that with one another. So if this is a challenge for you, if you're not sure how to navigate the potential conflict that can come about, maybe you have tried to share your truth and it has created conflict and you don't know how to navigate that. Or perhaps you have a really limiting belief about whether you're allowed to share these things, or a fear that you have. I would love to help you with this, sister. And if you're getting caught up in the blame game, if you're getting caught up in the victim role, or in the blaming and the stories and the conflict, then I hear you, I see you, and I would love to invite you to reach out to me by direct message on Facebook and let me know what kind of support you're looking for. Okay, it is, in my experience, it is so much harder to do this alone. It is so much harder to work through this relationship maze without the guidance and without the tools to be able to learn how to do that. So if you want to create a deeper intimacy with your partner, to share what's really going on for you, your deepest truth, to be seen and to see them even when it's tricky, and you want some support with it, then reach out to me. I've got an upcoming intimacy course, an 11-week intimacy course, emotional intimacy course, which is going to be amazing. And we've already got people showing interest, so it's going to be such a great course. And I would love to support you with that. So please know you are never alone with this, and it is totally possible for you to experience a deeper level of emotional intimacy in your relationship. And where that starts is by developing your self-intimacy. So if you are watching this on the replay, let me know what your biggest takeaway from this is. I would love to hear your stories. And as always, I'm sending so much love to you. So thank you for tuning in, and I will see you back in the community really soon. Take care. Mwah!